Hi my glam chicks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I am back. Today we have this soft glam. Say hello to my beautiful model Miracle. I was so excited to do this look on her, and I think she was excited too. You see her recording, so we both were excited. So let's get into this beat. I'm going to start off by just gently cleaning her face with the Witchhazel like I do all of my clients. Just taking either a makeup remover wipe or a baby wipe and just putting some Witchhazel on it and just gently wiping my client's face off. The two moisturizer and primer that I'll be using is the Embryolisse and the Angel Veil. As you can see, Miracle have beautiful skin, so I just wanted to make sure her skin was very moisturized so that the skin can breathe under the makeup. So I moisturized under her eyes to avoid any creasing or just anywhere along her smile lines. I just really made sure I moisturized her face. So taking that Angel Veil primer, I only put that primer within her T-zone area along the sides of her nose, because you can see on camera, but in person, some of her pores were visible. So I went ahead and filled in her pores using that primer so that we can have a smooth canvas to work with. And keep in note that I did not put that Angel Veil primer all over her face. I only mainly worked it within her T-zone area. So the two foundations that I will be using is Terracota by the Becca Cosmetics foundation line and Superstay Mabelline in the shade Cappuccino. I went ahead and mixed those two, and I took actually a powder brush and I buffed in that foundation. And sometimes I'll use a kabuki brush to blend in my foundations, or sometimes I'll use a powder brush to blend in my foundations. It really doesn't matter. But I figured using a powder brush, it kind of give it a more smooth texture type application. Now, as you can see, the foundation is a little warm. I did wanted to make it warm because by the time I highlight, it will offset that color tone. So I did go a little warmer than her skin tone. And again, I'm just buffing in that foundation. I'm really adding little by little and working in separate sections of the face, just very slowly making sure that everything has full coverage. The two concealers I'll be using is I want to say Deep Olive by the e.l.f. Mattifying Concealer and Tarte Medium Deep Sand. So I'm going to just put that in her T-zone area, highlighting her forehead, her chin, her cupid's bow, and under her eye. Now the way I did her makeup this time is very different from my other videos. Again, I am an MUA in Atlanta, and how I do my clients, I can do a full face almost 6 different ways. So I've never have a set technique that I just like to use. I have so many different techniques that I just love to, implement when I do my clients. So it just depends on my client's skin, which technique that I will use, which is my favorite. The technique that I'm using with her is just basically using that highlighting concealer to lift her face, because she had good skin, so it really didn't take much to put on her skin, so we really didn't have to do much. So just really simple steps. So taking that same brush that we used to blend in her foundation, we are going to blend out every section that we put the concealer at. So again, I did go light with the concealer and warm on her foundation, and it's all going to blend together. So I'm just using tapping motions, and the key to this part is to not put so much force on your brush when it comes to blending out that concealer. You want to blend it in, but you also don't want to take away the color of that actual concealer, because it will defeat the purpose of highlighting the face. So you always want to go very light hand when you are blending that concealer, because you still want the face to have a highlighted look and not be so flat. So when people say blend it in, it's not necessarily blending it in to where you can't see it no more, but blending the harsh edges so that it fades into the foundation, but yet you can still see where you put that concealer at. So again, I'm just working the edges of that concealer, and then later I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and blend the inside of the eye, because you want to kind of have that concealer sit there a little bit under the eye to kind of give it more of a full coverage, and so that it don't have to be so loose, it can kind of thicken up a little bit. Make sure you take your time on this part, because you don't want no harsh lines to be visible, because that is not cute. So now I'm taking that small brush by the Real Techniques. I want to say they call these the cheek brushes, the highlighting brushes. I don't know, you guys, but I have so many of these brushes. Oh my God. So I'm just taking that and I'm blending under her eye. And a key. Listen to this, guys. When you are working on a client, when it's time to buff out that concealer underneath the eye, have your clients look up. Don't have them do nothing else. Don't have them on their phones, because the more they look down, the more they look everywhere but up, it will start to crease. And the reason why it will crease is because you haven't set it yet. That's just wet product underneath their eye. So you always want to have them to really be really still, or look up, or just sit there for a minute, because you don't want a lot of creases to show, or else you're going to be blending for days to keep the creases out before you set it. So I took a lighter shade. I forgot what shade this was, but everything will be in the description box. And I kind of went in on her inner corner of her eye and the outer corner, just to give it a more of a highlighted look, just a little bit, but not having her whole under eye highlighted, but just in those sections. So my favorite part, I typically mix my setting powders. Today I mixed the setting powder with the Sacha Butter cup and the translucent by Mercier in the shade Honey. And I went and I just slightly set underneath her eye, just so that she could stop looking up for a minute while I, get my things together to actually set and bake underneath her eyes. So I just took that powder and I just took a fluffy brush and just started tapping that powder in to avoid any creasing. So now I took a disposable sponge, because I do not use beauty blenders. I hate beauty blenders, you guys. I feel like they're so unsanitary. I don't know. So I use disposable sponges. So I took one of those and I tapped it in that same powder that I went and set underneath her eye. I tapped it in and now I am baking. I'm starting to fall in love with baking, because it's easier when it's time to do the shadows, that if anything falls, you can just sweep it away. So I kind of like baking, you guys. I don't know. I like it so far. I don't have any cons about it. But what I do notice is that you can't bake on everyone's skin type. I haven't took note of that, but I'm starting to like baking. You know, it's so nice. It's just so nice. So I am just tapping in that powder, and the color tone of this video is going to change just a little bit because the lighting is hitting that powder, so it's going to be a little cooler, but the video will get back to its normal color in just a few minutes. So now I am using the contour palette by the Black Radiance in the shade, and the name is medium to dark. The medium to dark contour palette. Yes, I am using that to contour. Now, if you ever seen that palette in person, it has two dark shades. I am using that middle shade, and I am contouring and just slightly tapping that powder in where her jawline is, her cheekbones, and her forehead, and down the bridge of her nose. Now, due to this being a soft glam, I did not put any setting powder to make her contour sharp because I did not want this to be a dramatic look. So I just wanted everything to be like butter and just fade into each other. So I took the contour palette shade and I just start tapping it along her cheekbones to give her face some structure. Taking a clean fluffy brush, we are going to take that same shade and contour both sides of her nose very lightly. You guys, if you ever follow me on Instagram and you check out my lives, you would know that Kay hates them little stick lines going down people's noses. I don't like it, you guys. Like, no offense to other MUAs, I do not like them stick lines. It's not natural. I don't like it. So I just simply take that shade and just kind of really emphasize the structure of her nose, but still giving her nose a snatch look. So here is the interesting part. I actually mixed the P. Louise base with a little bit of concealer so it won't be so thick, because in this step we are going to highlight her brows and do the shadow at the same time before we fill them in. So I mixed the P. Louise base shade number 3 with a little bit of the Tarte concealer in the shade medium deep sand, and I went ahead and start tapping it in her eyelids, and as you can see, I am bringing that base and concealer up towards her brows. Using tapping motions, I'm just taking it up towards her brows. And again, I only do this because, again, this is a soft look and I want her brows to be natural as possible. Well, really, I honestly do this with every look with my client because the natural brows are in style. We are not into those straight edges brows anymore. Like, I took note of that. I think it's going out of style, you guys. I'm sorry, I think it is. So now I am taking a brown shadow and I am making that her transition shade, and I am just simply blending it in from her contour with her nose into her eye. So I'm just still going in with that brown shade, just kind of fading it into her brows along towards her contour line where her nose is, just to kind of make sure everything is transitioning very smoothly. And I'm going to go in with the nude shadow out of my Maxluxe Studios palette, and I'm going to tap that all over her lid. I did not add no type of additional base. I'm just working with whatever base that I have left over her eyes because, again, this is a very natural look. So them simple details, and it's just keep it very simple, you guys. So this look is beginner friendly. If you are a new MUA and you just trying to perfect your skills when it comes to blending, this is a great way. So I'm just tapping that nude shade. I forgot what nude shade out of that palette was, but it is the Maxluxe Studio palette that I am using. So taking my Maybelline gel liner, no, I'm sorry, it's the L'Oreal gel liner in the shade 171. I am going to just put that along her line. And then I'm going to add some falsies, you guys, some falsies. Oh my God, these lashes were so cute. They were so cute. They were so cute. They made the look pop. I was gonna go more natural, but I said, no. We gotta make this pop just a little bit. And I had to get some nice looking lashes. Look at that. That is so cute. So then this shows up white, but it's actually a nude liner that I put together. And I am putting that in her waterline along with smoking the bottom out with just a brown so that it can clean up that white liner just a little bit so that it can be a little more precise and not so dull looking. Adding mascara, I went ahead and had her look down while I'll blend her real lashes into the falsies. So going in the Dolce palette, I am adding that pinkish shade as her blush. Again, in the makeup world, no product is off limits. If you want to use the eyeshadow as a blush, go right ahead. Nobody says it's wrong. Nobody said it was right. So do what you got to do sometimes. So now I'm taking a fluffy brush that I used to set under her eye, and I tapped it into the NW30 Studio Fix powder, and I am just cleaning underneath her eye by sweeping it away, not putting too much force on the brush, because if you put a lot of force on the brush, it will start to become very patchy. So you want to be very light-handed. So I went ahead and set her face with the Morphe Setting spray. Oh, and I also did fill in her brows, you guys. I just took the Absolute pencil in the shade Smoke, and I just slightly filled them in to where they're at. So it was not much done to her brows, just filled them in. So taking my two ColourPop highlighters, as you see that I showed, the names will be in the description box. The names are visible on there, but it's not so visible because I had them for a minute, and I'm just highlighting her face. So down the bridge of her nose, the tip of her nose, her Cupid's bow, and her chin a little bit. And I think I highlighted her cheeks. I think so, but not too much, not too much. So I took a brown concealer along with Naked, a nude lip color, and I just put that together as the lip combo. And there you have it. Miracle looks absolutely gorgeous, you guys. This look was so easy, and I honestly think she loved the look as well, as you can see. But you guys, thank you for watching. Y'all always show love under my videos. I look forward to seeing your comments, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share this video with your friends.